Another Saturday night at Lincoln Speedway. We're down here in the 410 pit area. Tonight we're going to chat a little bit with the driver of the number 44, Dylan Norris. Dylan, first of all, good to see you here.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good. You're glad to be here. I like how you said that, because I think recently, and I'm sure it has to do with the performance of the car on the track, you've been a bit happier. You've been more excited about things.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting a little better here.
Absolutely.
Our car has always been good. It's just driver needs to get up to par. But
driver needs to get up to par.
We're getting there slowly. It sucks though, because one week you think you're getting there, and then the next week you're like, we didn't go nowhere there. So.
Well, it's a very humbling sport, that's for sure. Each week's different. Some are better than others, obviously, but you've been around this sport quite a long time for a fellow of your young age. And so you started out. How did you start out in racing?
I raced quarter midgets, and then I went to 600 micros, and then 358s, and then now 410s.
Is part of your demeanor, you're being upset with things, and not I shouldn't say upset, frustrated with things. In the quarter midgets, 600s, and the 358s, you were very successful.
Yep.
Your success hasn't come as quick as I think you wanted to come in the 410.
Yeah, it's exactly. We win everything and won pretty quickly and everything. So it's just you kind of, coming into this that it's not going to happen, but you still want it to happen.
Right.
And somewhat expect it to happen, and it's just not. That's just not how it goes in these. The competition's way too good, and we're in such a good area that any of these guys, most of these guys around here can beat an outlaw team or an all-star team. And it's tough, but it's definitely humbling, and it makes when you win so much more meaningful, I'd say, than going and winning. It's not as hard competition.
Right.
And I know I have the equipment and the crew to do it, so it's not like we're lacking. It's just I'm lacking.
But it's just a matter of seat time. It's experience.
Yeah.
Now the 358 cars, like you said, you were successful very, very quick. I'm told, in fact, you and I have had these conversations off the air already. Sometimes you've chosen not to race the 358 anymore because they look the same, but they're not the same.
Yeah, they're, now even, especially now that the wing rules change, they definitely look the same, but, just the way you drive them and as little things as, running the bottom, you run different in a 410 than you do in the 358, and, one mistake in a 358, there's great drivers in 358s,
right.
But, you can get away with it sometimes, and in 410s, if you make a mistake, you're losing 3 spots, no matter where you're at. So it's just, you got to be on top of your game more, and that's a part of moving up. It's supposed to get harder. And,
right.
But the 358 is still a great division. It's just a little tougher in the 410s.
You just had to make a decision, going back and forth, doing both the 358 and the 410 thing. I guess it just wasn't what you were looking for.
No, I feel like it hurt us a little bit. Just racing Friday night, I was okay. I definitely think the 410 helped me in the 358, but the 358 did not help the 410.
Right.
So we decided this year we needed to make a decision, and we might not win once this year, but commit to being a 410 team and getting better as a 410 team.
Still, even though maybe you're not getting the finishes, you're not getting haven't been to victory lane yet with the 410, but you're learning lessons each time you go out on the track.
Definitely, we've learned a lot this year, and I know I say my car is really good, and it is, but we're trying to see what suits me best for different types of tracks, and Lincoln this year especially has been not the same track every week, so and they've not been bad. It's just it's a different type of racetrack every week, so it's really about staying on top of it, and it's hard to do because we don't even know what I like, let alone trying to figure out what would be good on track.
That's why the sport's so difficult, to be honest with you. Everything, like you say, every week we're in, I think, race 16 or 17 for the year, and every week the track's a little bit different. But that's once you get that knowledge and that experience, you're gonna be able to read that track a little bit quicker and adjust to it quicker.
Yep, and that's why the experience plays into it, because people who have raced 5-10 years here in a 410, they've seen most of these track conditions at least once, or went to other tracks that had similar conditions and know what to do. And we've raced a lot of races and been to a lot of racetracks, but it's still a learning curve every week.
And the track's changing a lot, I guess, everywhere, from heat races, qualifying events, to the feature event. And I guess it even changes from the beginning of the feature. Now that we're running 30 laps on a regular basis here, it's changing from the beginning of the feature to the end of the race.
Yeah, every time you hit the racetrack, whether it's a 10-lap heat, 8-lap heat, it's going to be different from lap 1 to lap 10 or 8.
Right.
And especially in the feature, like you said, 30 laps, a lot changes. It goes from sometimes good to sort of slick, and then to really slick, or vice versa. It's tough to stay on top of.
Does it depend somewhat on the other divisions that are here that night? How much do they help widen the track out, or depending what tires they're running and how heavy their cars are and what have you? Does that affect the racetrack surface?
Yeah, like some of the, I guess they're called extreme stocks, or that was here the other week. I don't know what tires they had, but it seemed like it kind of brought the track back to life. They ran a heat race before our feature, and it kind of brought the track back to life. Like sometimes when the late models are here, it gets real narrow on entry and then wide through the corners because they kind of slide up. So yeah, it's different with the different divisions, and depending on weather, like tonight it might be a little wet. So many factors plays into it.
It's an education for sure.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Going back to school, they're going to school every night at the racetrack. You mentioned the car is good, the crew guys you have. Let's talk about your crew members. Who do you have working on your car?
The main guy is my dad. He is in the shop every night, and then we have Kevin Markle, Dale Shipley, and Darren. He's kind of a new guy. Everybody helps out a lot, whether it's financially or just help, manpower.
So you mentioned your dad. Now he has more experience, or more years experience than you have being on this earth. He's been around this sport a long time.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people know, but he's been on the road for quite a few years. So I try to tell him what to do sometimes, and I gotta sit back and think. He's, like you said, he's got more experience than I've been alive. So.
Yeah, and he uses that experience for sure. But you have to speak up as well.
Yeah.
And is it easy racing for Dad, or does it make it? I guess in a sense it may have opened up some doors, but at the same time, he's still Dad, but he wears the crew chief hat here at the racetrack. And do you guys find yourselves battling back and forth about that, or do you just kind of have you learned to adapt to each other's faults?
Just like a crew chief and a driver, or a dad and a driver, everybody has their difference of opinions sometimes. But I feel like a lot of times we come in and we already know what we got to do without even talking. We still talk, but we kind of know what we need to do, and we have a really good baseline every week to start off. Like, that's one of our main things. We come to the track with the same thing every week, whether the track's, depending on if it's real different, we'll start with the same thing, and then as the night goes on, change.
Adjust. Right. Adjustment's better than changes.
Yeah.
You get too many changes, and you adjust yourself out of a setup, I guess.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
Now, how about sponsor help? I mean, I know you've got some, we've got some great sponsors on the car. The car looks great, by the way. Who letters your car? Who wraps that?
FXG Sign and Graphics. Me, my dad, and I've forgotten the crew help. Andrew Rucker. he designs, and he's a huge help too, financially and just man.
Don't ever forget Andrew. He's not going to let you live it down.
No.
I can assure you of that. But how about some of the sponsors on the car? I know you've got some top-notch sponsors for sure, and quite a few.
Yeah, the main guys. My dad helps a lot on financial too, and but the main guy is Scott Gobrecht. He does so much for our deal, but Rutgers Computer Solutions, Darwin Martin Trucking, Cahill Motorsports, the Gear Shop, Easy Go. We got a new sponsor, Service Master Clean.
They just came on board recently.
Yep. Winter's Performance, KH Suspension. Basically everybody.
Right.
So many to remember.
Yeah, you've got a whole billboard here in the hauler.
Everybody on here, even if they're that small to that big, they do tremendous.
It's a team effort.
Yeah.
Not only working on the car, but getting your car, being able to have the parts and the machinery to make it happen.
Exactly.
Yep, for sure. Now, Dylan, you're at the ripe old age of what now? 17.
Yep.
Okay, so your goals in sprint car racing.
My goal is as soon as possible to be on a touring series. I'd like to start on the All Stars and kind of get my feet wet there, because it's kind of a more regional series. You don't go to California and stuff, and then eventually go to the Outlaws. But that's just a dream. I'd still be content somewhat with running around here competitively, but if I have the skills and the backing, I'd definitely like to try a tour out.
Well, I think the skills are coming, that's for sure. I've seen a big difference in your on-track performance over this season for sure.
Yeah.
Things have picked up very, very nicely. And I also see that in your demeanor when you're here at the track. You smile a lot more. So that means things are going in the right direction. That's for sure. But do you feel the pressure on you is coming from inside?
Yeah, I have no pressure. Nobody puts pressure on me but myself. It's just because I feel like we're almost above average from where a rookie should be.
Correct.
But like we talked earlier, I wanted to be winning races by now. So it's all pressure from myself. But we still take our good runs and don't just shrug them off. We still celebrate, I guess you could say, and just our main thing right now is just top 10s and top 5s. Wins will come and we want wins, but getting a top 10 or a top 5 is a good goal for us.
They're almost victories within the race. I mean, there's only going to be one person goes to victory lane tonight.
Yep.
If that's not you still have a good run, or you got something figured out, so where you're gaining on things.
Yeah, like the other week we finished 19th or something, but our car I felt really good. It's just the results didn't show, so we took that as a good night, even though 19th isn't a good finish.
Right.
But I felt like we found something with our car, and I felt comfortable, so we took that as a good night.
Well, good. We certainly wish you the best tonight, as well as the rest of the year, the rest of your career. We certainly wish you the best with that. Thank you for taking some time out with us, and good luck tonight.
No problem. Thank
All
you.
right. Dylan Norris, one of the many members of the group we have here at Lincoln Speedway, the Young Guns. We have a lot of young drivers working their way up the ladder, and Dylan Norris certainly one of those for the fans to keep their eyes on in the near future.